we need to become more entrepreneurial and unleash more ownership across all of those different businesses. We are fully confident that this new organizational structure will further enhance value for the company as a whole.
All right, for more from what we heard, let's bring in our Chief North Asia correspondent, Stephen Engle, for more on this. It was a pretty short call, about 25 minutes. Yeah. What did we learn?
Well, it was supposed to be 30 minutes and went 25 minutes. That tells me that they didn't want to talk about a lot of specifics. And one thing that stood out to me at the beginning of this, I was just sort of expecting the 6 divisional heads of the baby babas to be on this call. But just Daniel Zhang, who is the chairman and CEO, as well as the CFO, Toby Xu, were on the call. Daniel will be the head of the new cloud intelligence division, but the other 5 heads were not on the call. We do know that it's going to be Jiang Fan, head of the global digital business. We know Trudy Dai will be of the e-commerce shopping division. Local services will be Yufang Fu, as well as the Cainiao Logistics will be the existing head, William Lin, and Fan Lu Yuan, head of the digital media and entertainment. None of them were on this call to flesh out some of the details, how they're going to run a standalone business with the synergies, of course, under this basically a holding company, Alibaba holding company, as a more of a capital-based company rather than operating these individual units. Let me just run through the key takeaways. The restructuring already is underway, according to Daniel Zhang, and he says this has been in the works for a couple of years. Not surprising, because the antitrust regulation and the scuppering of the Ant IPO in November, that was 2.5 years ago. So they were probably been working on that over that time frame. It's essential, he says, to make Alibaba more agile. They will decide on a case-by-case basis whether, when, and how much control to cede of its units. Each unit will operate and seek funding independently. We knew that yesterday with the statement coming from Daniel Zhang. He expects to maintain synergies across the group thanks to strong and established relationships. Those synergies are, quote, very stable, according to Daniel Zhang. All units are already on its cloud business. This synergy will remain at least.
You mentioned synergy, so they kind of want to break up the businesses, but then they still want synergies among that. Is that a bit, I don't know, counterintuitive, or how does that work?
Well, they kind of clash in the opposite direction, right? Or they clash. Let's just put it that way, because they're breaking up, but they also want to maintain those synergies. Of course they want to maintain those synergies. The reason why they had quote-unquote monopoly is because they had synergies and they shared data, they shared referrals across all those divisions to the detriment of upstarts in those various industries. So they're going to talk up those synergies. It's just a matter of up to the individual businesses how they're going to do that while still maintaining, sort of autonomy.